complex. You're going to take your band, put it around your foot, and then either anchor it in a doorway or on a table leg or something stable off to the side here, or you're going to take your opposite foot and use that as your anchor point. And then the exercise is just letting your ankle come in and then pressing it out. In to out. Things you want to look out for are letting your toe extensor muscles do the work for you. So you see there how my ankle drifted up and you see all these tendons popping out. That's an indicator that you're doing the exercise incorrectly. So try to quiet those tendons down as you do the exercise. Another common mistake is to let your entire leg move. So your knee should actually stay completely still where it's at. All of the motion should be isolated to the ankle.
Against the resistance of a partner or static object such as a chair. Perineals are also involved in pointing the foot away, known as plantar flexion. Strengthening these muscles can be achieved with calf raise exercises. Start on both feet and progress to a single leg exercise. To complete strengthening of the entire ankle, resistance band dorsiflexion can be used.
Middle part of the foot, you don't want it wrapped around the ankle or around the toes. I have the other end wrapped around a foam roller with my right foot secure on the foam roller to hold it in place. When we do eversion, there's not a great amount of motion, so the ankle doesn't really move very far, but we still want to move it through a pain-free range of motion to make it extremely effective. You want to start in a neutral position and turn the ankle so that the bottom part of the foot moves outwards. Then go back to the neutral position. Now you will feel this in the muscles in the lateral aspect of the lower leg. You may even feel it in the ligaments down here that connect the lower leg to the foot. You want to start at the number of repetitions that you could do comfortably and build up to 15. You want to work both sides evenly. If you have an issue with one side, then you can do extra repetitions or an extra set on that side, but you still want to make sure that you work the opposite side. As you can see, the motion is not much. I'm starting in a neutral position and I'm everting the ankle. This will help to strengthen.
Sit down, cross the leg over as Leanne is right now, and then we're going to take the foot and we're going to put it into plantar flexion. This is dorsiflexion, plantar flexion, or just having your foot pointed. And then I get Leanne to actually reach underneath the bottom of the foot here. Good. And then we're going to basically invert it more. So we're going to basically take it and torque it over like this quite a bit. Okay. Making sure that we keep the foot in a pointed position. And we should feel the stretch all the way up the side of the leg. Are you feeling that there?
Yeah, I feel it all the way in.
Yeah, and you've got to put a fair amount of tension there to actually get the stretch too. Now, bring your foot back up here and try and turn it to the side a little bit. You feel any kind of stretch?
Not so much.
Not so much.
No.
Point it down, all the way, do it again.
Okay.
Okay, take it right over. Can you feel that stretch now?
Yeah, it's deeper.
Okay, excellent. Really good stretch for the perineal muscles. Down the leg is extremely effective. To do this stretch, you're going to need either a stretching cord or a towel. Lie on your back, take the top leg and have it bent in. Now, I'm going to have you straighten the leg out a bit here. Good. And then we're going to move the foot from what we refer to as an everted position into an inverted position. Okay, just one sec here. Go ahead, Leanne, just take it over that inverted position again. Now, pull it up just a little bit farther and then tighten the cords a bit. You feel the stretch down the side?
Yeah, all the way down.
All the way down, right by the fibular head there, right down by the knee?
Yeah.
Excellent. Really good exercise. Now, when you're doing this, make sure you stretch it for maybe 10-15 seconds, but I'd like to repeat this several times, so 3 or 4 times. Stretch it for 15 seconds, bring the leg back down, then back up again. Really good exercise.
Just like so. The bottom of the foot together, just like this. From this position, you may already feel some stretching on the outside part of those lower legs. Those are your peroneals, and that's what this is a peroneal stretch. So from here, what you're going to do is you're going to try to keep the soles of those feet together. You're going to try to keep the heels down and the baby toes down on the ground. And from this position, we're just going to start to bring those knees together. Now, when you first start this drill, you're not going to have to go very high to feel a good stretch all the way down the outside part of those legs. The goal with this one is to get all the way to standing with a lot of control with that foot, so you're working those muscles to open them up and keep them nice and stable at the same time. So ultimately, you want to be able to get those legs all the way straight and then be standing on those feet, keeping them nice and together, holding for about a 5 to 10 second count, and then coming all the way back down in a controlled manner. The better you get at it, you're going to...
This stretch is more comfortable and more effective when performed with your shoes on. We're going to stretch the right leg. Stand with your weight on your left leg as you roll onto the outside border of your right foot. Keep your left knee slightly bent as you bend forwards. For a slightly stronger stretch, you can come round to try and touch your right ankle bone. Hold for about 20 seconds and aim for 3 stretches on each leg.
Now, what I've found works really well is to use a travel roller. It's a smaller roller than the large foam roller, which you can use to do this, but this is one of the most effective ways that we have found. So what we do is, Leanne will get in this position where we're crossing one leg back, and then we're going to bring the other leg forward and rest the side of the muscle on top of the travel roller. Okay, go ahead and just kind of roll back and forth on there. Good. This can be fairly intense, but sometimes it'll be difficult to actually get into the tissue if you do not get in this position. Do you feel like you can get in there pretty good?
Oh, really?
And actually control the amount of force you're putting on top of there? Mm-hmm. Okay, so you go back and forth for maybe about 30 seconds. If you find any particular area that's really tight and restricted, you stay on that and then just go back and forth for about another 10 to 15 seconds. This is a really good way to release the perineal muscles.
And easily reached by your hands. Start by warming up the muscle. With the middle 3 fingers of both hands, stroke lightly and firmly up from just above your outer ankle bone to the outside of your knee. Repeat this movement for 2 minutes, gradually applying deeper pressure from your fingers as the muscle warms up. Using your thumbs and starting from the ankle bone, apply deep pressure to the muscle and gradually stroke the thumbs away from each other. Repeat this movement 3 times and then move up the leg a bit and repeat again 3 times. Gradually make your way up the muscle until you reach the knee. Next, using a thumb or a knuckle, apply pressure in a circular fashion on any knots, bumps or tight spots you have identified while using the previous techniques. 10 or so circles in both directions should be enough for each spot, which you may feel loosen whilst you are working on it.
And we'll just start by warming up the whole lower leg. Just give it squeezes all around. I'm doing both sides, but really focusing on getting this outside. Down to the ankle. That should feel really nice already. I can feel it already releasing a lot of tension. I mean, these legs do a lot of work every day. They carry us around all day. Okay, let's do some circles. So we're just going to take our 3 or 4 fingers and just start to explore the muscle by doing little circles, seeing where it might be tender or achy or sore or tight. And wherever it is, just hang out there. Apply a good amount of pressure, good enough so that it feels like you're getting a nice release, but it's not painful. It's good pain, so to speak. And breathe into it, and breathe all that tension out. Give it some more circles. Continue on your way, really explore. You can use 2 hands. Warming it all up and assessing as you go. What's neat about massage is that you can assess and treat at the same time. So now we'll move on to some myofascial active release. So we're going to start with a soft fist. Bring it all the way down by that big bone that's on the side of your ankle, the lateral malleolus. The trajectory is going to be up towards the knee, and it's all along this outside of the lower leg. So go ahead, engage the tissue in, and you're going to pull up towards the knee, but you're not pushing or forcing. Remember, this is myofascial release, so it's slow, and it lets the tissue take you instead of you actually moving. You're not sliding over the skin, so it could be, a while. You need a lot of patience for this. What we're going to do while we are doing that myofascial release is give the muscle some engagement. So we're going to dorsiflex the ankle and then plantar flex. Now you can take your other hand and support the leg so you can get your foot a little bit off the floor in order to get a full range of motion, or you can just put it down to the floor. But if you want to get the full plantar flexion, you can support your leg. Dorsiflex, plantar flex, and you'll see as you contract and stretch the muscle, it'll sort of help your hand move that tissue up towards the knee because it's moving underneath your hand. Flex and point. If it's very abrasive, please feel free to use a tiny little bit of cream or lotion, but make it really tiny because you still want to get that tissue moving. You don't want to be sliding over the skin. Okay? All the way up. Now we're going to do some other actions of the peroneals. We're going to do inversion, eversion. So that's bringing the bottom of the foot to face in, bringing the bottom of the foot to face out. So let's go ahead again and engage the tissue right down at that bump on the ankle. Start to move it upwards as you go in and out. You're going to have a lot more in than out. That's normal for our foot range of motion. And out. All along the length of the muscles. Breathe while you do this. Don't forget to breathe. Could be a little tender. If it's too tender, back off. Just use lighter pressure, or just do it without the ankle movements and the feet movements, because that generally makes it more intense. So I'm leaning back as I draw my hand up towards the knee. Let's just do a little circular massage down around that bump, that lateral malleolus, just right around it. Massage those tendons. Even do the Achilles a little bit if you want to. Why not? And do nice ankle rolls. Make sure it's nice and loose. And just brush it off to finish.
So show a couple reps here. So notice how I'm backing up my dual finger attention with my opposite hand just as we're moving the leg. So gain the tension, back it up, keep that tension as we move through. So this again is going to be super sensitive up into here and less sensitive as we move down. So treat it with
what you're going to use is the footballer. Okay, we're going to break this off into 4 sections. Section 1, Section 2, Section 3, Section 4. Okay. Starting all the way down at the bottom, apply as much pressure as you can stand. Okay. Turning more is going to put more pressure because we're forcing down onto the leg. Okay. So here, nice and slow passes, again, breaking it up into 4 sections. we're going to go 1, 2, just small rolls, 3, 4, stopping at the top of that section, and we're going to do some cross friction. So we're just sort of dragging it back and forth. And it's going to be a little tender. So nice deep breaths and relax. And we're going to move up to the second section. 1, 2, 3, and 4, stopping at the top of that second section, and little cross friction, just grinding it back and forth. Okay. Reposition if you have to. Third section, same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, stopping at the top of that section, and cross friction, just dragging it back and forth. And the fourth section, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and cross friction. And that's it.
About 4 inches below your knee. And we'll start with some sustained compression in that area. This is the peroneus longus muscle, which starts up here at the head of the fibula and runs down the side of your leg. And with sustained compression, when you find a spot that needs a little attention, you'll know it, and you should be able to take some deep breaths through that. If you cannot breathe deeply, then that means you won't be able to relax into the discomfort, and you need to back off a little bit, maybe remove some weight. Let's strip the muscle up and down the fibers. This area that forms trigger points, you'll notice that it may seem a little ropey, or like there's cords up there like guitar strings. So we'll crisscross also, cross fiber massage back and forth across the muscle, and you may notice it is a little bumpy in there. And we'll move on down to the peroneus brevis muscle that begins about midway down the fibula bone, and again doing some muscle stripping. So when trigger points form in these muscles, they cause referred pain or referred weakness, which means it shows up somewhere else. Stabilize your feet, and that puts your ankles at risk. Let's do a little pin and stretch, compression into the muscle, into the brevis, peroneus brevis, and then we'll move the ankle around below it. And finally, let's go ahead and plant our lateral malleolus bone right in between the yoga tune-up balls, and we'll strip back and forth, and this gets the tendons now. So if you have weakness happening, referred weakness from tightness and trigger points in your peroneal muscles, you're susceptible to...
So I got my lacrosse ball. I'm going to get that anywhere below my fibula, all the way down toward the lateral malleolus. I'm going to get that ball in there, and I'm going to smash down. Instead of rolling up and down, I'm more rocking side to side. For me, that's a pretty gnarly spot. I can add in some range of motion with my ankle there. Tack and stretch, right? Pin the tissue down, stretch it with some of that range of motion to the foot and ankle. Okay, that's legit. If I want to go bonus and get some musculature on the medial side of the tibia as well, I might try to get posterior tib all in one. I got another lacrosse ball. I'm going to pin that down just behind the bone, press straight down and smash those together. Same idea, pin and stretch. Minute or two each side.
This exercise massages the perineal muscles at the back and side of the lower leg. These muscles are heavily used in running, and regular massage here can help avoid overuse injuries of the lower leg. More pressure is applied from the ankle upwards in the direction of blood flow within the muscles.